David McBee has been working with small and medium business owners for many years. He sold Yellow Pages back when Yellow Pages were actually used. These days, he's a little more high-tech, educating business owners on internet marketing through seminars, consultation, and his blog at davidmcbee.com, his internet consulting business. David is a certified Google professional who works closely with several members of the ARA and has been a successful speaker at numerous ARA state and local association meetings. He is also a past speaker here at the Rental Show. Please help me give a warm welcome to David McBee.
Thank you, sir. I like that it said successful speaker at past shows. I don't know how you gauge that, except that I keep getting invited back, so I guess that's a good sign. Who here is glad they're in Orlando and not at home? Yep. Who here is glad they're at a seminar on a Sunday morning rather than Disney? Okay, good. There's one. Or Universal. That's where you'd rather be, right? Am I sound all right? That's very echoey to me, but it sounds okay to you guys? All right. And yeah, remember what he said about silencing your cell phones. That's really important. And if you have a pager, come up here so we can all make fun of you. I still laugh when they say silence your cell phones and pagers. I'm looking around going, who has a pager? Thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. On a Sunday morning, first seminar, you guys are the thumbs up for you guys. Appreciate it so much. As he mentioned, I used to sell Yellow Pages. I'm just going to talk a little bit about me so you understand who you're listening to today. When the internet came along, I just gravitated to it. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I'm an early adopter of technology. So I went out and sold the crud out of all of our internet products. But the truth is that those first internet Yellow Pages products, they weren't all that great. You guys, who had those? That first IYP thing? And so, since the Yellow Pages companies weren't moving fast enough, I decided to go out and do my own thing. And I worked for a couple of internet marketing companies. I worked for one out of New York City. I work for one out of Dallas now. And started this blog that basically taught people how to do internet marketing. And I do SEO and pay-per-click, and Facebook has been one of my kind of passions. I'm excited about Facebook. So when the ARA asked me to talk about Facebook, I was like, yes, I love it. I'm super excited about it. Now, in my opinion, Facebook is a great resource for you guys. But I want to prove to you guys just how powerful it is. And I'm going to get this on video, because when you capture things on video, it's more official. So, all right, here we go. Please raise your hand if you use Facebook. Raise them high. Okay, keep your hands raised if you like bacon. If you like bacon, keep your hands high. Okay, it's official. Facebook is as popular as bacon. Guess where that's going later? On my Facebook. You got it. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, is this even important? Some of you guys are here because the boss said, hey, go to that stupid Facebook thing because I don't want to deal with it. Some of you are here because you know Facebook is popular, but you might need to tell your boss, hey, this is why it's so popular, and this is why we should be putting money or time or energy towards it. We're going to talk about, how to engage, how to get people involved. We're going to talk about how you can use Google Plus just like you use Facebook. All these fun things. And here's the funny thing. I don't even need an agenda because you have all my notes right in front of you, most of you. So really, you could leave if you like. If you think I stink and you're leaving, I'll know it's because you like the notes. But you don't have to take any actual notes. And there'll be some stuff that I speak about today that isn't in those notes. But I want you to know that you can just email me, and I will send you this deck later if you want it. Is that cool? Now, Facebook's pretty popular. Billions of users. As Dr. Eva would say, 1 billion users every day, right? I'm not going to read all these stats to you. You guys can read them. But it is incredibly popular. We are posting every day. We are reading posts from other people. Millions of businesses are on Facebook. Look at the stats. There's so much action going on with Facebook. In fact, how about this? How about a show of hands if you've been on Facebook already today? Yeah? You guys were all following my page, right? That's what you were doing? Not yet. You will, I hope. 28% of you checked it before you got out of bed. You know who you are. The ones that laughed, those are the ones. My wife is such a Facebook junkie that not only will she check it before she gets out of bed, the other day, okay, I'm going to give away a little. I myself do check it in bed occasionally, and I'm checking it. It's like 6:30 in the morning, and I see an update from Emily McBee, my wife, and I look in the bathroom, and she's brushing her teeth, and she's got her cell phone in her hand, she's doing this, and I'm like, man, you are really connected, baby. She's like, this was too important. I had to get this out right away. No one has ever seen this video of this cat before. But we are connected, right? And in fact, most of us check our Facebook at least 7 times a day. Now, if you're still not convinced, I'm going to take you back in time for just a second, okay? Imagine it's 10 years ago. You've just kicked the Yellow Pages rep out. You went ahead and agreed to that stupid increase because you knew you had to be in there. The Yellow Pages guy is gone. The TV guy is calling you. The radio guy is calling you. The newspaper guy is calling you. To be fair, the newspaper lady is calling you. And they're all trying to get you to advertise. Remember this? Still happening, right? Then I walk in, and I've got hair at the time, and I'm wearing a red, puffy, sleeveless jacket, and I say, listen, I got to tell you something about the future. There's going to be a new marketing channel, and everyone is going to be on this marketing channel. Everyone. Literally billions of people are going to be using this marketing channel. You're like, whoa, what? I don't have to figure out which Yellow Pages or which TV channel to advertise on? No, everyone's going to be using this. Everyone. And they're going to check it 7 times a day. Some people are going to check it before they get out of bed. Guess how much it costs to advertise on this marketing channel? It's free. You would have said, get your butt back in that DeLorean and go back to the future. I don't believe you. But that is the state of how it is today. And unfortunately, many of us see Facebook as this thing we have to do, right? We have to do Facebook. Oh no, I gotta do my Facebook stuff this morning for my business. I'm talking about business. Or I got to go to this stupid Facebook seminar that the ARA is putting on because people use Facebook and it's good advertising. But do you get it? It really is a huge opportunity. And if you know how to use it effectively, it can be so powerful. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And the truth is, it's not that hard. The way you do it is actually pretty simple. You just got to know a few of the secrets. So I'm going to tell you some of those. I'll give you guys a little secret. I put these comics throughout the presentation so I can take a drink while you're reading them. All right. I have a lot of people ask me, David, should I do this myself? Should I run my own Facebook page, or should I hire a professional? Should I outsource this? And I would say this, if you know anything about Facebook, if you can play around on the web, if you are at least a little bit familiar with how Facebook works, you should be doing it yourself. Think about it. It is your social voice. This is a social network. Who should be social for you? Yourself, your team, your employees, or someone that you've hired? Which is better? It's kind of a no-brainer, right? And yet, there are businesses out there that know they need to be on Facebook, but don't know how. And so you can outsource it. You can pay someone else to do this for you. And they'll do a fine job. They won't be you. They won't be able to speak in your voice or tell your stories. But they can show an event that you did. Or they can talk about this new piece of equipment that you're renting. So it can be done. Now, luckily, I've been able to convince most people that ask me about Facebook to do it themselves. I convince them to do it themselves. And I'll consult them and I'll teach them how. But occasionally I'll get somebody who says, David, I don't want to know how to do it. I just want it done. And I had one such instance with a local dentist in my area, Dr. Cobb. And here's one of his posts on Labor Day. And he said to me, David, I'm not on Facebook. My wife's not on Facebook. But all the moms, they always talk about Facebook and how important it is. Can you just do it for me? And so I'm going to show you some screenshots of what we did for Dr. Cobb. And I know he's not rental, but I haven't had the pleasure of doing a rental one for you. The folks I work with in rental, they do it themselves. Dr. Cobb was that rare exception where I said, okay, let's just do it for you. But the strategies I'm going to teach you are industry agnostic. Can we all agree that's okay? All right, so here's a screen out of my Facebook page. And if you don't know this, you have to have a personal Facebook before you can build a business Facebook. And once that's done, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. Once that's done, you just click on this little gear thing, the settings button, and you can choose who you want to control your Facebook as. So I can say, hey, I want to be Dr. Cobb right now, and I'll get a screen like this. I'll go to Dr. Cobb's page. Then I have all these options to kind of see what's going on in his world. I can literally see, hey, these are the people who've liked him and the engagement he's got and all that good stuff. Who here who's familiar with this page? Raise your hand. Okay, so about half of you. If you're not, you just need to build a business page, and I'll show you in a second where you go to do that. But here's where you can look around and kind of see what's going on with your page. And here's some of the things you can see. You can see the likes, the reach, the engagement, all that good stuff. And this is kind of technical, so we're going to move past this because you can kind of figure this stuff out on your own. This is just a way of measuring numbers, and I'm not a numbers guy. You know, the graphs, it looks like you got to be smart to understand this stuff, right? It's really not that complicated. It's just a way of measuring how many people participated on your Facebook page, or liked you, or engaged with you, or took some time to comment on one of your posts, or share your stuff. But every once in a while, you'll get an email like this. And Dr. Cobb has about 500 likes at the time of this posting. Those 500 likes, guys, turned into almost 34,000 people seeing his stuff. Pause for effect. That's right. Don't worry about how many likes you have. Likes are important, and yes, those are the people who follow you. Those are your fans. But when they engage with you, when they share your stuff, when they do stuff for you, look how many people we can get that silly little alligator in front of. And if that silly little alligator gets in front of 33,000 people week after week after week, what are the chances that might have an impact on his business in a positive way? Can we agree? Yeah, a lot of head nodding. Good. So, by the way, here's the URL. If you don't have your own Facebook page built yet, that's where you go to do it. You do have to have a personal profile, so even if you don't want to be on Facebook, go get that and then ignore all the friend requests from those guys in high school that you didn't like anyway. Just ignore those. That's okay. In fact, we should have done that, right? How many of us said yes to every friend request and we're like, oh, what was I thinking? That was me. No, I was the guy being your friend, and everybody's like, oh, I can't believe I friended him. Oh, there's my water break. You can get your own Facebook URL, of course, facebook.com/United Rental, facebook.com/Party and Intents, or whatever it is. You do have to have 25 likes in order to get that. So go out and get those 25 likes pretty quickly. That's when you call your mom and your friends and you say, just like my page, and then you can get your URL. So I mentioned that Facebook is social. This is really the key to being successful with this. Understanding this concept. Now, social media existed before the internet came along. Kind of. It was called networking. Remember that? Remember going to meetings like this? Do you still go to meetings like this? Raise your hand. Do you guys do chamber and BMI and networking groups? Yeah? And what do you do at those? You talk, you meet people, you create relationships that will hopefully one day turn into business relationships, correct? Can you measure the ROI of those after one meeting? 2 meetings? 10 meetings? Ever? No? But you know that participating in social events like this can have a positive impact on your business in the long run because of the relationships that it creates. And guess what else? The way you act at those meetings, or the way you acted at those meetings, those rules apply directly to social media as well. Be that Twitter or Facebook or Pinterest or whatever. The things that you do at this meeting, if you do them right at this meeting, you can do them right online as well. Get to know others before talk about yourself. Participate in the conversation. Show up regularly. You don't want to be the guy that shows up to the chamber meeting every 6 months. You're not going to create good relationships like that, are you? Be interesting. Give before asking. Let's look at rule number 1. Get to know other people, right? Get to know them, talk to them. How many times have you been at one of those meetings and you're standing there, you're having a cup of coffee and you're talking to your friend Dan, you're like, hey Dan, how are the kids, blah, blah, blah. And that guy comes up and he gives you his business card. And he's excited because he just started his own insurance agency. Hi, I'm Dave. I'm with Farmers. It's good to be here. Nice to meet you. Yep, I've got an office right over here on 3rd. Yep, and we do free consultations. I can give you a free estimate for your business, for your family. Send your friends. You have a boat? You know that guy? How social is that? How much do you want to smack that guy? And you're looking at Dave and you're like, can we back off, please? That happens on Facebook, doesn't it? Doesn't it? The guy with the Facebook page is always posting his crap that you don't want to see. The stuff about his business, and he's not engaging you at all. He's not being social. He's just using it as this podium to spew his marketing garbage. That happens in Facebook as well as real life. Like other pages before you post. Like the other pages. Participate. Interact with those other pages. Post on a regular basis. You don't want to post every 6 months. You're not going to create relationships like that either. This is really very simple. You do the same things you did in social, in real life, you do them in social media. Here's Dr. Cobb's Facebook page. And again, I'm using him because I managed his page, I'm able to see some of the things that went on behind the curtain. Couldn't just pick out what I thought was a great Facebook page. And I have a few of those that are really good rental examples I'll share with you in a bit. But I was able to see this. And I happen to know that Dr. Cobb likes the local Chamber of Commerce. He went to their page as Dr. Cobb and liked their page. Easy enough? Easy enough to understand? He also liked this page. Head Start of Shawnee Mission. It's basically, an opportunity for the smart kids to get into school earlier. Kids, pediatric dentist. Duh. The Kansas City page. These are pages that he went out and liked them. So imagine that in real life. You're walking around the social event and you're going out and meeting these people. You're shaking their hand. You're getting to know them. And then what do? You comment on their stuff. Here he is commenting or sharing. It's just a silly Lego. Have you guys seen this one? Lego at night. It's just a silly, stupid thing on Facebook, but he commented on it or shared it. Here's another one. You can see he's actually going to their pages and he's doing something with their content. Now, if you own that page and Dr. Cobb comes to your page and shares your stuff, how does that make you feel? Kind of warm and fuzzy? Kind of social? Kind of like you want to return the favor, maybe? This isn't rocket scientists, or it isn't either. Here he is commenting on a page. I like this one, the KC Pumpkin Patch. This one was timely, right? Did you guys try these Oreos? Dr. Cobb says they're fantastic. We love them. Truth is, they were terrible. And believe me, I eat some Oreos. I do. These were awful. But the point is, he found something that was kind of trendy and cool. Had this come across your Facebook page, might it have caught your attention? And might you have seen Dr. Cobb's comment there? And might there be some tiny chance you have a kid who has teeth? I'm not saying that everything he does in this environment is going to result in business. It absolutely is not most of the time. But I can tell you that if you engage enough and you're social enough with all these other pages, they'll return the favor, and you'll get to that 500 likes turning into 33,000 people engaging. Now, the next rule was what? Post regularly. Show up to the party. Show up to the event on a regular basis. Now, it's not crazy how often he's showing up. What is that, once a day? That's not that bad. Could you guys do that? Could you show up to Facebook once a day and post something fun? Who does that now? Who's doing it once a day? Okay, not very many. That's okay. Do you guys know about this scheduling thing? Do you? It's like the greatest thing ever. You can schedule your posts to go out later. It's like sending a clone to the party. Guys, over the next 3-4 days, I have so many posts going up on my Facebook page. I just set them up weeks ago. There might be one posting right now. So you can do that on Sunday night or Wednesday morning when it's really slow. You can say, oh, here's a fun picture, I'm going to put this up. Here's a fun video, I'm going to put this up. Here's some pictures of an event we hosted, I'm going to put this up. Here is a description of a really cool piece of equipment. I'm going to put this up on Thursday. I'm going to put one up at Thursday at noon, 11:05 p.m., so I can catch the night birds. What would be a good thing to put in front of my wife at 6:20 in the morning? Something positive and exciting. What's that? A cat video? All right, we'll talk about what that content should look like in a second. But yeah, you can schedule your posts. You can't schedule comments like on other people's pages. You can't schedule liking other people, but you can schedule your own posts. Does that make life a little easier in this environment? Yeah. Now the next thing was give good content. So here is a great article on brushing teeth and kids, pacifiers. This isn't a cat video, and he has plenty of silly, you saw the pirates, right? But this is really valuable stuff. Every once in a while, you really got to bring some value to the party. Yeah, you can put those fun e-cards and jokes and videos all day, but once in a while, you got to bring value to the table so that they'll follow you and they'll have a reason to follow you. Because there's plenty of places out there where you can get the fun, silly stuff, right? So here's something that he came up with. And maybe he even heard this in his office. Maybe a mom asked him this question. And he thought, if I'm getting asked this question in real life, maybe this is an opportunity for me to share some answers with the rest of the world. So he's giving something of value. Here's another thing that he's giving of value. This isn't his own app. But do you think an app that reminds you when to brush and how long to brush would be valuable to the moms that like his page? What would be something that you could provide in your industry? Let's talk about rental here. How about how to keep your tent secure when it's windy out? Is that valuable? The safety precautions around an outdoor wedding? Do you have the fire extinguishers and the tie downs and all that good stuff? Or how about things to avoid when you're picking out your wedding dress? Now you're looking at me and just, David, you're supposed to do rental, and you're talking about wedding dresses. But aren't I still talking to the same audience? Aren't I bringing value? No, I don't sell dresses, but I do have all the other things that a bride needs. And so I can share with her the content that is relevant to her and then bring it around. It's like bringing donuts to the networking meeting. And then once you have established yourself as worthy of getting people to like you and follow you and they enjoy your stuff, then you can ask for stuff back. Here's Dr. Cobb asking for reviews. Every once in a while, it's okay to ask for something back. Send us a referral. Do you know anyone who's recently gotten engaged? Do you know anyone who's building their own deck? Let them know we exist. It's okay once in a while, isn't it? Does that happen in real life at the networking events? Every once in a while, it's okay to get your business card out and say, hey, send me some referrals, isn't it? When you've established that relationship, you've got on their good side, you've given them a donut, then it's okay once in a while. And that's exactly true in the Facebook environment as well. Give, like, share, comment, take. Give, like, share, comment, take. Dude, that's brilliant. I'm tweeting that later. I love that one. I'm a total Batman fan. So all right, we're going to get a little technical here. I want to talk to you guys about EdgeRank. When you're dealing with Google, they have all these things called algorithms, right? Algorithms that determine when your page will show up on page 1. And these are algorithms that we're constantly trying to figure out. And Facebook actually has one of these algorithms, and it's called EdgeRank. And it changes regularly. So everything I'm telling you could be 100% wrong in 5 minutes. But for now, it should be accurate. And EdgeRank has been around for a while, so we're okay. EdgeRank is this idea that we can't show all of your posts to everyone who follows you all the time. Do you guys know that most of your posts are only seen by 12 to 20% of the people who follow you? Do you guys know that? How annoying is that? It's like, I just put out this really great content. I've only got 400 likes to begin with. Only 100 of them are even going to see this? That's frustrating. And the reason is because of this thing called EdgeRank. Now, some people would say, hey, Facebook, turn that off, just show everything to everybody. And there's a little thing that does that. It's called Twitter. And if you've ever been on Twitter, and you follow a lot of folks on Twitter, you realize you only see 10 to 20% of his stuff anyway. You can never fully see everything in your newsfeed because it's so full all the time. And Facebook said, well, we don't want to do that. We don't want you to just miss the good stuff. We want to help pick and choose what that good stuff is so we can get it in front of you. And they use this thing called EdgeRank. EdgeRank is made of 3 elements. The first one is called affinity score. Now, an affinity score is different for every single user and every single business and every single friend. And an affinity score is that number. It's an imaginary number that tells about the relationship between you and me. The best way to explain it is to give you some examples. If I were to friend that guy from high school that I kind of knew, and he shows up in my newsfeed, and I never comment on any of his stuff or like any of his stuff, eventually I'm not going to see as much of it, right? And the reason is because I have a very low affinity score with that guy. And yet my best friend, he and I comment on each other's stuff all day, every day. My wife, I see everything she posts because we have a super high affinity score. You with me? You can have that affinity score with your clients too. If they like your stuff, if they're commenting on it, if they're sharing it, if they're engaging with your stuff, that will increase the affinity score, and thus you'll be able to get in front of them more often. And that is why it's so important to provide really good content. You've got to get that affinity score up. Because if they don't engage with you, and sadly there are some folks who will never engage with you, right? Even though they'd like to see more of your stuff, they don't understand this. So maybe once in a while it's even okay to say, hey, comment on our stuff, like our stuff so that you see more of it. Have you guys ever seen that in your newsfeed? Hey, please comment on our stuff so we don't go invisible to you. That's affinity score. Now you know what that is. The other part of it is something called weight. Weight is just the measurement of what you posted. There are comments, there are pictures, there are videos. What else can you post? You can share stuff, and everything has a little bit different weight. So if you just say, it's Monday, have a great day, that probably has a lower weight than if you put a picture of a cat with some crazy Monday hair. And it says, it's Monday, have a great day, right? So put a picture with everything. Well, not everything. You got to keep it organic and natural and mix it up every once in a while. But pictures carry more weight than comments. And comments with URLs that you can click and go see other stuff, those carry more weight than pictures. And videos carry even more weight. And yet Facebook is constantly messing with that algorithm. And in fact, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. Here recently, what they discovered is that if I post something on my personal page and it has a URL, it's less likely to get clicked than if I don't have a URL. And so on personal affinity scores and personal weight, they actually dialed that back a little bit. They did the same test on businesses, and what they found was that if a business posts a URL, people tend to like that more, so they dialed it up. So for the first time, they're kind of messing with the EdgeRank between personal users and business users. And this is always going to change, but now you know what to look for. What's the EdgeRank algorithm look like these days? Tips to EdgeRank. And then the last piece is just time. And this is just each of the pieces that you post will have a certain amount of time that Facebook will allow them to be in the news feed, and eventually that'll fall off. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I saw lots of Super Bowl stuff recently in my Facebook news feed, and I kept seeing it. Like Monday and even Tuesday, there were still posts from stuff that had happened on Sunday. And what all of these posts had in common was that they had a lot of activity below them, a lot of commenting and shares and things like that. And because of that, because of the other two pieces of the EdgeRank algorithm, it tipped the scale so that even though this particular post was 2 days old, it was still showing up in people's news feeds. I love this because it means your stuff can linger on longer if it's awesome. Your stuff, not other people's stuff. It's going to be really hard to get a high EdgeRank on other people's stuff, isn't it? And this is where it gets a little bit complicated. And this is where it's really hard for me to help Dr. Cobb. I can't be his voice. I can't be his content. I can find stuff that's related to teeth and kids all day long, but I can't create it if I'm not the dentist, if I'm not the business, the party rental business or the tool equipment business. I can't create that for you, but you can. You can have your own blog. And I hope you do. I won't ask you to raise your hands on this, but I will tell you this. In 2014, you have to have a blog, period, for so many reasons. For SEO, for social media, and you have to have a blog that you regularly post great content to. Because you've got to provide something of value to that party. You've got to bring good information to that party. Let's go back in time again. Let's go to our networking event. Everybody join me. And we're sitting around, we're having our coffee, and I tell you a wonderful, interesting story about internet marketing. Is that going to bring value to our relationship? Is it going to be more value if it's just something I read that morning? Or is it going to be more value if it's something that I inherently know as an expert? So do you guys know things about your industry that I don't? Do you guys know things about party rental and tool rental and equipment and linens and chairs that I don't know? Can you bring that information to the party? This article, what is this called? 6 things to keep in mind when hiring an event photographer. This business is trying to establish themselves as an event authority. And that's what you want to do with your blog. You want to be the authority. And that's what she's doing here. Here's another one. And this is an infographic that they put together. It's called A Bride's Guide to the Outdoor Wedding. Now, I wish that in a PowerPoint I could scroll, and I can't. But this infographic is awesome. In fact, I did catch kind of a middle shot of it. If you're taking notes at all, write this down. Go find this infographic later. It's amazing. If you just Google an event, what is it? A Bride's Guide to an Outdoor Event, you'll find it. It's number 1 because it's been pinned 77,000 times on Pinterest. Are you kidding me? That doesn't happen all the time, does it? But this is a piece of content that he created, and it's awesome. It talks about the best time of year to have a wedding, the seasons, the colors, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and in that middle section, it talks about tents and what size tent you should rent. Pretty clever, wouldn't you say? But he found a way to come up with something that brides were really incredibly interested in. That's great content. And guess what? He can post that thing on Facebook every month. Again and again and again. You can reuse it because of that stupid EdgeRank thing. We know people didn't see it the first time. So let's use it again. David, I have to have a blog. I don't want to have a blog. I don't want to write content. Okay, I get it. But if you do, now you've got something valuable to bring to the party again and again and again, and you can repurpose it. Here's one about tool rental. Now, the tool guys are always telling me, hey, David, Facebook's social. It's for parties. It's for the party rental folks. It's really not for my industry. But if I am interested in polishing concrete, might I do a Google search for this? And might I come across this page? And if I were to see this in my Facebook newsfeed, might I like it and like your page because of it? That's you? Raise your hand. Good work, man. How's this working for you? Oh, there you go. There you go. I didn't plant that. I promise. Have we ever met, sir? Did you know this was your card? And the reason I just went to the web and found great stuff. I went looking for content and I found it because he created it. And Google must think very highly of this because I found it. Fantastic. I'm so excited you were here. Here's another one. 4 things to remember when renting your tent for your event. Nice and simple, easy enough. You guys could write that, couldn't you? And this particular rental company does both party and tool. Here's the post. He does rental and equipment, so he does articles on both, and then he posts them on Facebook, as well as Google+, which I'll talk about in just a second. Okay, here we have some more statistics to encourage you to blog. If you don't want to blog, I get it. But it really, absolutely, positively can result in true, honest-to-God ROI and sales. Because this fresh content makes you the authority. You are the authority if you're writing and creating content. You're just sharing it on Facebook. Facebook is just a channel to put it out there. Let's go back. Marty McFly, back in time. How could you have done this 10 years ago? You couldn't have. How did you establish yourself as the authority in the space 10 years ago? Would it have been awesome to get the newspaper to write an article for you or about you? Yeah. But how often did that happen? It didn't. This is fantastic. I love this blogging thing. Now we're going to talk about how to do Facebook wrong. Because I see a lot of this, sadly. Do you guys see this? See a lot of people screwing up Facebook? Nobody teaches you this. There's no how to do Facebook in high school or college, right? So we're figuring it out as we go. And here are some of the things people are doing wrong. They're promoting the crud out of their business. This is not the place to do that. If you guys get nothing else out of this seminar besides this bullet right here, then you will be better off. You will be 10 times further along than most of the businesses on Facebook. It is not an advertising channel for promoting your business. It is a medium for creating relationships. This guy does nothing but talk about himself. Remember us. Give us a call. Call us. Call us. Call us. Does it encourage you to like them more? Share their stuff? Do you enjoy being told to call the pest control company all the time? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. It's still glitchy. What's going on? You're the AV guy. Don't look at me like I did it. All right, hang on. I feel like oh, now we got it. Nope. Testing, testing. We good? All right, cool. Now I got wires everywhere. All right, every once in a while you come across a quote that's so, and you're not supposed to read your PowerPoint slides, right? But this quote is so good, I'm just going to read it to you. This is my friend Ann, and she says, if you are only posting status updates, you are missing the value of having a Facebook page. You must interact with other pages as your page, or no one knows you exist. It's the Facebook pool party networking event. Go find some pages where your customers hang out and start liking what they would like. I love that. It's the Facebook pool party. Woo! Although don't show the pictures of you at the pool on your personal page. Well, some of you could. That might even get more likes. I don't know. But there won't be any of me on mine. I promise you that. Good quote. You guys agree with Ann? Yeah. All right. What else can we do wrong? How about we keep forgetting to show up? This guy's last post was what? Does that say May of 1912? Basically what happened here, the guy said, well, I need a Facebook page, right? He got himself a Facebook page and then felt that it wasn't important or worth his time or effort. And yet, 41 people liked him. Those are 41 opportunities, 41 people that he is letting down. And if you don't think 41 is a big number, let me tell you this story. I run the Facebook page for my son's Boy Scout troop. Yeah, we're not looking for a lot of business, right? So we have 70 likes or so. That's all the boys and their families and stuff. We'll never get more than that probably. And yet, when we have a camp out, and we got some dads and moms out there posting pictures of the boys, they're camping right now, by the way. I'm from Kansas City. They're camping in a foot of snow. It's called the One Homeless Night Camp Out. They don't even have tents or nothing. It's to teach the boys a little bit more about what it'd be like to be homeless. And they are sleeping in the snow. They have nothing but cardboard boxes. Those pictures are awesome. And I like them, and their mothers like them. Well, some of the mothers like, my baby. But we share them. We comment on them. They get all sorts of action, right? So on a camp out weekend, those 70 likes, we've been known to hit 7,000 people seeing our stuff. Now, there's no value in that for us. We're not trying to go recruit or sell anything. But it does tell me something about how Facebook works. 70 likes. Thousands of people seeing our stuff because it's really that awesome. And the lesson here is do something in the snow. There's no lesson. How about this? Not responding to Facebook. And a lot of people will tell me, David, I don't want to have to keep track of my phone, my texts, my email, and now I have to keep track of Facebook. But guess what? People who use Facebook and engage in Facebook, they will contact you through your Facebook, and they will expect you to treat that just like a phone call. It's social media, and yet they expect you to return that message quickly. Has this happened to you? Like you get on Facebook and you're like, where did that message come from? That's been there for 3 days and you missed the opportunity. Don't let that happen to you. My Facebook junkie wife, she will Facebook a business before she will call them. I'm like, just call them. I don't like talking to salespeople. I'm a salesman. That's why. So the people like this exist. They expect you to be in that space and be prepared to return their message. So be prepared to do that. And it's not that hard, right? Get Facebook on your phone. Get the little red badge that pops up. No big deal. But do not just let people sit and don't respond. Oh, and here's the other thing. I post a picture on your page. I like you so much. I like your business so much. I posted something on your page and you ignore it. Does that happen? Has a bride ever posted some pictures on your guys' page? Like after the wedding's over, they come back and go, thank you, best tense. We loved our party. And they put the pictures up and you ignore it. Don't do that. That's your opportunity to comment on it and say, we loved taking care of your wedding day. It was a very special day for us too. Or sharing it and saying, look, Suzanne loved us so much. Look, she posted on our page. And that should be happening. People should be posting on your page. Reviews, comments. If they're really engaged with you, they should be engaging on your page. And you should take that moment to thank them, interact with them, comment on their stuff. Be social. Buying likes. Have you ever done this? Wait, don't raise your hand if you've done this. It's really tempting when you have 42 people that like your page and you know you can go over here and buy, 1,000 likes for $12? Did you guys know you could do that? Don't do it. Totally don't do it. There's a couple reasons you don't want to do it. Number one, those likes, they aren't real people anyway. I knew a business that did that, and one of the faces that came across was Justin Bieber. It wasn't called Justin Bieber, but it was a picture of Justin Bieber. It was like Lance something. I was like, this can't be a real person unless he looks just like Justin Bieber. I don't know. But these aren't real people. So there's no point in doing it. And I know you want to look like you have more people that like you, and that's very tempting. But if Facebook catches you doing this, they'll ground you. I'm not kidding. They'll scold you. They'll take your Facebook down. My friend Ann, who gave us that really valuable advice, she had a business owner do that. They shut her page down for 2 weeks. No Facebook for you. All right. Now, forgive me, but this is a picture of Boner's Barbecue. Again, forgive me, but that it really is the name of the place. And the reason I put this up here is because they did one of the biggest Facebook fails I have ever heard of, and I had to share this story with you. You're nodding. You've heard this? Have you heard this? You live in Atlanta, so you know about these guys? All right, cool. So if I tell the story wrong, don't tell anybody. But here we go. This is one of their posts. What does it say? Here, I'll just read it. Not wanted. This person's actual name left her waitress a $0 tip on a $40 tab after she received the Scout Mob discount. If you see this woman in your restaurant, tell her to go outside and play hide and Yelp that. And why did they put this up? Because she didn't have a good experience with them, and she went to Yelp, and she wrote her experience, gave them 1 star. And so they went to her Facebook page, grabbed the picture of her from her own Facebook page, and posted it on their page, and called her names. Boner's Barbecue. Yeah. And then this went freakishly viral. Lots of people commenting on it. How can you treat your customer like that? She was on the news. Google this later. There's great videos about it and everything. She was like, I did leave a tip. I don't know what they're talking about. And all I did was go to Yelp and express my opinion. And then they did this. Now, if you don't think Facebook can make a difference in your business, I will tell you that Boner's Barbecue is now out of business. Pause for effect. So if it can work that way, can it work the right way? Absolutely. There's no secret to this, guys. Just be social. Think about the things that you would do online. Or not online, offline, in real life. And then do those things online. You'll be like, I just spent 2 hours in that seminar and I learned one thing. Be social. Who knew? All right, water break. Be careful what you post online, right? Okay, I'm going to show you guys some cool pages that I found. And if you're in the room, let me know. Because I just found these and I thought they were doing something right. Oh, no, I take it back. First, I'm going to tell you about Morgan Miller Plumbing. Morgan Miller Plumbing, I put these guys in here for all you tool guys. Because this is a plumbing company. Plumbing, how exciting, right? Plumbing, yay. This company won Battle of the Brands in Kansas City. They are the most socially popular company in Kansas City. Yeah, a plumbing company. So let's talk about how they did that. I'm going to peek at my notes a little bit as we do this. That's a cool shower head, don't you think? Fun, worth sharing, worth commenting on, related to plumbing. Yes, 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 yes. Here's his team. They grilled out for Payton's last day. Oh, it's one of their guys' last days. And they posted a picture of the team. Social? Yes. Kind of fun? Kind of boring. I don't care about Payton. But okay, they're being social in their environment. Do you like these sinks? Ladies, who would share these sinks? Anybody? You would share those? They're cool, right? Okay. Let's see. He got 16 thumbs up on that one. Here's the team collecting toys for tots. Social? Interesting? Make you want to like them more? Yeah? Could any business do that? Any business could do that. Here's a little fun cartoon that they put together, Piper's Piping. It's fun. It was relevant because it was Christmas. And guess what? Related to plumbing. Who knew? Here's a couple of the big boys. The team. This is the kind of thing you see on Facebook all the time. It's just some fun motivational meme. Nothing you guys couldn't find and post, right? Just in case you missed the news story last night, frozen pipes. Oh, this is great. So it's cold in Kansas City. It's cold where a lot of us are from, right? And they're posting information that's relevant to keeping your pipes from freezing. Timely, relevant, interesting. Would you share that? You don't want your friends' pipes to freeze, do you? And yet, the irony here is that that's exactly how they would get more business, is if they let your pipes freeze. So that gives me good warm feelings toward them. Oh, and these are the reviews on their page. And there are a lot of them, by the way. People actually taking the time to go to Facebook and say wonderful things about them. It's a plumbing company, guys. And they've got people going to Facebook and being social and interacting. I talked to the head of marketing. I called her and I was like, listen, I'm putting this seminar together on Facebook, and I've got a bunch of people who feel like they can't be social because their industry isn't social, and yet you're a plumbing company and you've done it. How did you do it? And she said they started with unicorns. I kid you not. You scroll back through their pages long enough and you will start seeing unicorns everywhere. They just picked a thing. Unicorns. And they posted all these fun images of unicorns. And I guess people like unicorns because they got all these people to like them and follow them. And what they realized was this wasn't just a plumbing company that was constantly shouting, call us, call us, call us. This was a plumbing company that wanted to have some fun. And that's what they liked about it. Now, the really cool thing about this is how much money they make on Facebook. And I asked her, I said, how do you track the ROI of the things that you do on Facebook? Because so many business owners tell me, I can't tell if this is making me money. Do the likes tell you how much money you're making? Even that engagement on Dr. Cobb, 33,000 is an impressive number. Does that tell us how much money he's making? No. Can you put a special tracking phone number in here and expect that to work? No. So I said, how do you do it? And she said, we ask every customer, every time. We ask them when they call, and we ask them 2 weeks after we service them when we call them back to make sure everything was good. It's like, all right. And she said sometimes on that first call, they'll just say, oh, internet. And so on the second call, she'll drill them down and say, what did you mean by internet? Did you Google us? Did you find us on Facebook? And she said, it's Facebook a lot. And I said, well, how much is a lot? And she said, $2,000 a week a lot? Yeah. 2,000 times 52, 100,000? $104,000? Is that math right? $104,000? $104,000? $104,000. Do you think that's worth the time and energy that they put into this silly little social networking page? Okay. Here is a party rental company that I really liked. Is All Occasions here by chance? Nope. They're doing stuff right, so follow them. One of the best ways you can learn to do this is just follow other people who are doing it right. Go follow them. Watch what they do. It's like when you go to the first networking meeting, you have somebody else with you and they're introducing you to everyone. This is your wingman right here. And the reason that they're doing things right The reason I think that they're doing things right is I checked the engagement on their page. I didn't just check to see if they were posting a lot of cool stuff, which they are. I checked to see what other people are putting on their page and what other people are saying about them. And this is some of the stuff I saw. So if you run across a great rental page and you think it's great, click on this. Let's see, where is it? You see right in there in the middle of the page where it says highlights? If you click on that drop-down box, it'll say only the posts from the business and then posts from others. Click on posts from others, and if there's stuff there, it means they're getting that engagement. That's how you can tell if somebody's doing it right. Do that on your own page and see what happens. Here is a great tool rental company doing it right. Is GTR here? Yay! Everybody give a little applause for GTR. Yay! How many likes you got there? 70. 70, that's the number I keep using, right? All right, how many people in this room? By the end of this session, I want 470 likes on that page, all right? Not fooling around. Here's a cool one. This is party tent rental event. Here's another one. I really like these guys. 500 quality products. Here's one that you guys should be following.
No way. They promised 84 degrees and sunny. Haven't they been saying that for months now?
They did kind of mess with us on that, didn't they? Yeah. I'll talk to them. We'll get that number up by the end of the day. This page is awesome. You hear he's full of himself. You hear right. You've been talking to my wife? Okay, fair enough. This is a little self-promotion, but I got to tell you guys, I've been writing my blog for 4 years now, and it's written just for you guys. It's written just for small and medium business owners, so it's called Translating Internet Gobbledygook. So the stuff I put on here, it really is the stuff that you guys will need to see. So I encourage you to follow it, and in fact, because I've scheduled so much stuff over the next few days, it's going to be really good this week. I expect lots of comments and likes. Carol, thank you. Carol always engages me on Facebook. She's a true fan. Return on investment. How are we going to measure it, guys? We're going to look for a few things, right? We're going to look for engagement. We're going to look for other people posting on our sites, other people commenting on our stuff. And then most importantly, we're going to ask everyone. And guys, I know how hard that is. I've been telling that same story for 10 years. Back when I was doing Yellow Pages, I would say, ask everyone. But now when there are so many marketing channels, you've got Google, you've got Facebook, you've got Twitter, you've got Pinterest, you've got the newspaper, you've got TV, you've got radio. You've got to ask people. If you're not doing that, please just do it. And what you will find is if you're doing things right on Facebook, you will find and you will discover that Facebook becomes the answer so much more than you would have thought. But really, it's the only way I know to measure ROI on Facebook. I would love to be able to tell you there's some magic button you can click or some super trick to it. There's just not. Okay? So just ask. Oh, water break. Clark Kent. His mom's giving him away. All right, we're going to talk about Google Plus for just a second. Oh God, Google Plus. Who here is on Google Plus personally? They use it personally and they like it. Oh, I did change the question, didn't I? All right, who's on Google Plus? Okay, who uses it? Who uses it for personal stuff? Who uses it for business? Okay, we got some work to do. Google Plus. It's like, really, David? I'm just now figuring out this Facebook thing, right? Why do I have to deal with Google Plus? I'll tell you why. Google Plus is important because you guys want to rank high on Google. We need to play nice with Google Plus for very different reasons than we play on Facebook. Google Plus is their answer to Facebook. Now, some people ask me all the time, they're like, well, David, why did Google Plus even come along? They're king of search. Facebook already had things wrapped up. Why is there even a Google Plus? It's because last week, when my wife wanted to get some color in her hair, she got on Facebook. And she asked her friends where they thought she should go to get this color. And she got several replies. She got this salon, my friend Mandy, blah, 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 blah. She got like 18 replies. And she went to one of those places and she spent some money, I won't say how much, on her hair. Way more than I spend on mine. Now, if you're Google and that's happening, that is taking money out of your pocket. Because before Facebook came along, she might have called a few friends, but realistically, she probably would just want to have gone to Google and searched hair salon, Olathe, Kansas, picked one of the results. She might have clicked on one of those pay-per-click ads. Google might have made $4 on that click, and then she'd have moved on and gotten her hair colored. So Facebook took $4 out of Google's pocket. Does that ever happen besides to my wife? How many of you guys have started asking your friends for businesses rather than going to Google and searching for them? Raise your hand. Have you ever done a search for a business on Facebook by asking your friends? Yeah? So I'm going to tell a story you might have heard before, so forgive me. But when we wanted to go on vacation, my wife did that. And we got lots of replies about where we should go on vacation. And one of the places was Dreams Cancun Resort. And so my wife went over to the Dreams Cancun Resort page, and she liked their page. And for months, Dreams Cancun got to be in her news feed and tell her all the wonderful things about their resort. Swimming with the dolphins, the people drinking margaritas, the fat guy in the hammock. Wait, that was me afterwards. So at the time that we decided to make a purchase, she was already sold on Dreams Cancun Vacation Resort. They'll never know, by the way, back to ROI, they'll never know that the money we spent down there was because of their efforts on Facebook. They didn't ask. They didn't have any way of tracking it. But Google missed out on that too. All the searches that she might have done for resorts in Cancun, how many clicks might that have been? So Google Plus comes along, and in a lot of ways, it's actually better than Facebook. They've got those circles, so you can put people in the right circles, and you're only sharing with the right people at the right time. And they've got Hangouts, so you got videos. There's a lot of things about it that are cool. And in fact, Google will brag and they'll be like, we were the first social network to 1 million users faster than anybody ever has. And it's because we all said, okay, Google Plus, let's go sign up. But then we never went back, most of us. So why am I talking about this? If nobody is using it, we saw like 8 people in this room use it. So why do we have to have this conversation? Oh, it's because Google owns search. And I met the Google Plus team, and you know what they told me? They said, if you participate in Google Plus, we will give you a little something extra in the world of search. You will rank higher on the search engines if you play nicely with us. Does anybody here want to rank high on the search engines? Specifically Google? Yeah. That means that we have to play nice with Google+. That means everything I just taught you about Facebook, you have to do on Google+ too. I'm sorry. Now, you won't get the engagement over there. Sometimes you'll feel like you're in an empty room. You're the only one at the social event. You've got donuts. Anybody here? Does anybody want a donut? Can we talk business? And yet, somewhere there's like this super secret camera. Google's there and like, David McBee showed up. He's here. He's on Google+. Let's give him a little something extra on the search engines. When they Google party rental, let's make that site go higher. I'm not even kidding. And so SEO people like me, we're the ones keeping Google Plus alive. Because we tell every one of our business owners, you have to be on Google+. They've got us. They own us. There's nothing we can do about it. I know it hurts, doesn't it? Tell you what, if you're not willing to do everything on Facebook that you're doing on Google+, at the very least, post your own content on Google+. When you blog, when you put pictures of a wedding up or a piece of equipment, at the very least, put those up on Google+ too, okay? Because what it will do, it will actually wave this big red flag in front of Google that says, hey, I've posted new stuff to my site. They will send a crawler to your page immediately. They will crawl your page, and you could potentially be indexed within minutes for that content. And that's a plus because it will help you rank higher. And if anybody else ever steals your content, Google will know that you're the owner of it because you were the first one to post it. So at the very least, do that. I know this to be true because I've seen it. I've written an article, posted it on Google+, gone back to Google, searched for the article, 30 minutes later, and it's number 1. Tell me that isn't proof that they are absolutely playing favorites. Before we totally get off of Facebook, I'm going to answer a question that you might be having. Some people ask me, they'll say, well, David, aren't you going to talk about paid ads on Facebook? And normally I don't. Normally I don't talk about boosting posts or running display ads or any of those things. And the reason is because that's not Facebook advertising, in my opinion. That's display advertising. That's an entirely different talk. It's advertising on a very popular medium, but it's display advertising. You are paying to have your content show up on Facebook. Just like you could pay to have your ads show up in the Rent magazine. Or you could pay to have your ads show up on ESPN.com. Or you could pay to have your ads show up on Google. So yes, you can just pay to have your ads show up in Facebook. There's not much to that, guys. I will tell you this, you can choose your target market, but often if you do that, you will be missing out on people who want to buy from you and you didn't know it. So just be very cautious. Here's the good news with Facebook paid advertising. You can try it really, really cheap. You've seen this. Do you want to boost this post for $5? Just try it. What do you got to lose? $5? See what happens. See if it gets you more engagement. See if it brings new likes and new people to your page. If it does, do a little more. It's not rocket scientist. I did it again. It's not rocket science either. I'm going to do a presentation on rocket science one day. I'm going to be in trouble. So when it comes to the paid ads, there's a couple things you need to know. You can pay to boost your posts. You can pay to promote your page. And you can pay to go to a specific audience. All I suggest you guys is that you try these things out. Try them in small quantities and see what happens. And if you feel like they're working, do more of it. If you feel like that's not working, do more of the social stuff that I've talked to you about. In fact, I'm just winging it here now. At these social events that you guys go to, can any of you sponsor those? Are there sponsorship opportunities at those social events? What do those look like? Is that like you paid for the breakfast maybe? Or you get 5 minutes to get up and introduce the speaker? What does that look like? You what? Oh, you do the tables and chairs and you get a little, cool, all right. So if we were to go back to our BI before internet analogy, that would be like display advertising on Facebook. You're just paying a little extra to show up at the party more. That was good too. I'm going to tweet that. All right, I'm going to open it up for questions because I want to talk to you guys. I love talking to you guys. And I want to hear your success stories. I want to hear, look, there's lots of hands. All right, great. Let Lance get to you, and then we will, and there's one over here too. So I'm ready when you are. Hit me with your best shot.
Throw the mic at you?
No.
Is there an app out there that you can do a post and then send it off to Google+, to Facebook, to Pinterest, everything?
Yes. Well, yes and no. There's this thing called Hootsuite. And
Say again, please.
Hootsuite. Hoot like an owl, H-O-O-T, I think there's an E, and then suite, S-U-I-T-E. And Hootsuite is it's an app, it's an online service that allows you to do all sorts of things in those social environments and send them all out at once. Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook. I'm not even sure if Google Plus plays nice with them or not. Does anyone know? They don't, right? Google Plus won't. I didn't think they were integrated with Hootsuite. Here's the problem with that. You can use it, and it can be an effective tool, one that can save you a ton of time. But it also doesn't come across as very organic. And what I mean is that when you post everything to all channels at once, and Google spiders are crawling the web and they see that, what they see is software at work. They don't see a human at work. And Google doesn't like when software does the work of humans. So they want things to be more organic. They want to see social signals here, 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 and here, and not all at 9:21 a.m. Does that mean you can't use it? Absolutely not. A lot of people are huge fans of Hootsuite. It's a great software. It can be very effective. All I would say is that once you get Hootsuite and learn how to use it, remember you got to keep things a little bit organic as well. Mix things up now and then. Okay? You bet.
Hi, David. I have a couple questions. To keep it organic, if I use the same kind of ideas and content on my blog and my Twitter and my Facebook and my Google Plus, if I manually do it, would that appear as organic? That's the first one. And then should I repost old content? Because it takes a lot of time and effort to come up with good content. So if I have something that's 8 months old, can I repost it 8 months down the line from now? And lastly, what do you think about Google AdWords?
I'm 43. I can't do 3 at
Sorry.
once. All right, I'm going to do my best here. Number one is, see? Okay, organic, keeping it organic. Look, I would recommend that you don't post them all on the same day. Like post to Facebook on Tuesday and post that same content to Twitter on Thursday and post it to Pinterest at 9:20 in the morning and post it over here at whatever. That said, that's me being that's my SEO brain. SEO is search engine optimization for you guys. Right. Right, you do it for SEO. Social signals are a big part of SEO these days. And if they see you posting all these different channels at all these different times, that will have more impact than if you just do it all at once in one place, in all these places. It's okay if it's the same content, but I would also argue that you could mix it up just a smidge. Like don't copy and paste it exactly from one to the other. Like change a few words here and there. I know that seems really insignificant, but when a search engine crawls it, they're going to see something different than what they saw before, and that's going to be a different social signal rather than the same social signal in a different place. So it should have greater impact on you if you do it that way. Your next question was, can you repost content? Yes, absolutely yes. Today, you might have 70 likes. And if 20% of those people see that, you're getting in front of about 15 people. So post it in the morning on a Monday, and then post it on a Friday night, and see what you'll probably get in front of different people. Or post it again 6 months later or 3 months later. It was really good the first time you did it, do it again. Now, here's a question for you. If I am following your page and I keep seeing the same stuff over and over and over, am I going to like that? No. So be cautious that you only do it every now and then. You do it often and you have enough fresh content in there to not annoy me with the old content. I'll be like, oh, I've seen that. That was a good article. I remember that 6 months ago. Or, ooh, that's a good reminder. So don't abuse that. And then your last question. Sorry, she took 3, guys. Pay-per-click AdWords. Pay-per-click AdWords are my favorite online advertising medium, period, especially for rental. I have been doing pay-per-click advertising for rental companies for 4 years, and it is by far the most successful online advertising strategy I've ever seen for rental. Yes, AdWords Express is just some program doing it for you, and it's software that's trying to get the most for your money, but doing it yourself or hiring a professional to do it for you, you're going to get way different results. For those of you who don't know, AdWords is the pay-per-click. Like when you Google something, the very top of the page, you're going to see an ad show up, and it doesn't look like an ad, it just looks like a link. That's pay-per-click, and that's how you get to the #1 position if you're not willing to do all the work and and all the stuff that goes with SEO. It's just an easy peasy way to get up there. And I'm a huge fan of it. Okay.
Dave, I've got two questions. The first is I've got somebody set up our Facebook page, one of the former employees, and it's a personal page. And I've got somewhere around 700 likes or friends or whatever they are. And my concern is I've been told if we try and transition it to a business page so I can do the scheduling and all that, I'm going to lose all those people.
Yep. You are. But you have to do it.
Okay.
And a lot of folks have been through this, and I've seen it. So here's what you do is you start talking about the transition on that personal page, and you just put it out there. It's like, we screwed up. We're running our Facebook business on a personal page. Please go over here and like us, because on February 30th, there's no February 30th, so that'll be funny. We're shutting down this personal page, so be sure and go over here and like us. Maybe even run a contest. For anybody who likes our page by February 30th, we're going to give away a Starbucks gift card or whatever it might be. Use that sparingly, but yes, definitely you've got to get them to transition over to a business Facebook page. And it's for all the reasons you just saw, the post, the engagement, all that stuff. You had another question?
Yep. Should posts to Facebook be timed for when you think people are going to be online? And an example, should I post at noon as opposed to midnight?
Yes, absolutely. You're going to want to post when you think your best chances are of getting people to see your content. And one of the nice things about all those graphs that I'm not a fan of, but a lot of people who are smarter than me can figure out, is that you can tell if you get better engagement on a post at 8 a.m. as opposed to the same post at noon. So you can do a combination where you post. What's one of your last posts? Just something that you've done. Okay, you posted that you were coming to the rental show. You could post that at 8 a.m. and post it at noon and post it at 8 p.m. on different days and see which one of those gets the best engagement. Now you'll have a little bit more knowledge about what works and what doesn't. But again, it's just trial and error because everybody has a different audience at different times. Yeah, post different stuff. Hi.
Hi. I want to start doing, having my customers do reviews on my Facebook page. And I noticed, I think it was on the plumbing one, you had clicked, it showed the screenshot of reviews and it showed all the reviews. Is that something special that I need to set up? And I also noticed on some of them, they have little stars for ranking. So I'm assuming that has to do with the review part.
So there's a place on your business Facebook page for reviews. It shouldn't be too hard to find. It's right there. And one of the things that I've seen that's kind of effective is, and again, you have to provide value before you can ask for this, but the thumbs up picture, my dentist, he offered a $25 gift card for every 10 reviews. So that's $2.50 a review.
Right.
Do the math on that's fantastic. He still had a hard time getting people to do it, but you can definitely ask for those things on Facebook. Say, hey, thanks for following us. We're a fan of you. Thanks for being a fan of us. We sure are trying to get our reviews up. So would you mind giving us a thumbs up and writing on our Facebook page?
Okay.
And I'm actually doing another seminar this afternoon on local SEO. And we talk a lot about reviews in that. So I'll give you a little preview. One of the things that you can do is provide a physical reminder to your potential customers saying, I want you to give me a review. Now, here's an example of what it looks like when you're doing a presentation, right? But you can put that on the back of your business card. You can put that on your receipts. You can put that everywhere. It can be on your Facebook page. It can be your Google+. You can give them all the different things. But ask for those reviews. Do not be afraid to ask for that. Because reviews are a huge part of your success in social and in SEO.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, I tend to want to administer my Facebook page off of my cell phone, and I'm finding it's not working really well.
So stop doing that.
I'm thinking I have to do it on my laptop or from a desktop because I can't get to everything on my phone, which I'm finding difficult.
You're right. The phone app is very, very valuable in the fact that it can let you know when people need to get a hold of you right away. You look for that little red 1 on your icon, or 2 or 3 or 20 or whatever it is. That's a very, very powerful use of that app. But I would argue that all the things that we've talked about are things you probably should do on your computer.
Got it.
Sorry. One day maybe they'll make the app better.
No. Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
David, what are your thoughts of,
Thanks.
We run a party and event rental business. What are your thoughts of broadcasting your clients' events as a value-added service?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, you need to have their permission, obviously. But when you take a picture of that bride and that groom in front of the beautiful setup that you've just done, and you post it to your wall, what are they going to do with that picture? They're going to share it, right? They're going to comment on it, share it. It's your content. You took the picture. Yeah, it's their faces in it, but you took that picture. You put it on your wall, and they'll share that with all their friends, and all those 8 bridesmaids that are in there, they'll all share it with their girlfriends, and now all these people are seeing your party and tent rental company because this bride shared your content. My dentist does that a lot with the kids. He has what's called, I don't know if you saw this or not, but the Mustache Club. You know, he'll have the kids come in and they'll do their teeth and they'll put a mustache on them, take a picture. Guess what happens? The mom likes it and comments and shares it on her wall, and then all these other moms are now seeing Dr. Cobb, the kids dentist. So absolutely, use and abuse that stuff. I'm a fan. Yeah.
Hi, I know this is a little off topic a little bit, I think, but what do you think about LinkedIn? We seem to be getting a lot of connected business through LinkedIn. More so than anything else that we can directly derive from there.
What's that?
We can directly derive it. We know they're asking for business from LinkedIn.
So people are getting on LinkedIn and asking you for business? That's fantastic. LinkedIn is Facebook for grown-ups.
Okay.
It is. It's a very professional environment. You're not going to see as much fun, silly stuff on there, and people don't check it 7 times a day. They certainly aren't checking it before they get out of bed, right? But there are definitely people who LinkedIn is their social network of choice. So you can take a lot of the strategies I just shared with you today and apply them to LinkedIn. You can do that with Twitter. You can do that with Pinterest. Pinterest, you can share pictures, right? But what's more valuable? Your own pictures? Absolutely. So create that wonderful organic Pinterest page and then go like other people's Pinterest pages and comment on their stuff. All of this stuff translates to all the different social networks. So good thumbs up that you're getting folks on LinkedIn. I'll bet those are really good leads. All right. One here? Hi, Carol.
Hi. I know you're not an attorney, nor do you play one on TV, but in traditional marketing, you would need photo releases from people to use their pictures. So You're talking about like streaming someone's event or something. Has there been any issue with that on Facebook?
I like how you started your question by pointing out that I'm not an attorney. Here's the thing. In print, once it's out there, it's out there. If you put it on your own Facebook, you can take it down. So you know me, I'm more of a ask for forgiveness rather than permission kind of guy. So I would put it out there, and if they complain about it, I would take it down. Has anyone else in this room experienced any kind of legal issues with stuff that they've posted on Facebook? Do you have something to share with us? Okay. For those of you who can't hear, she just said her customer called her and said, no, under no circumstances post pictures of our stuff. And you took it down, and you were fine? No legal battle? All right, cool. They were just rude. Well, send me those pictures. I'll put them up later. We'll send them to Boner's Barbecue and see what they do.
If it's a picture of a child, we're always very, very, very careful to make sure that the parent understands that we would like to post it and make sure we have their permission. In fact, I often leave it to the parent to post it and then have them tag us.
That's even better.
If it's an event or something like that, they've been working with you. If you've got a good relationship with them, I have never, ever had a problem. And in fact, with brides, they usually don't get the professional photography, the professional pictures for like 6 to 8 weeks. They love that we post their pictures.
Nice.
We're often the first pictures they see of their event.
Fantastic. That's great. I will add one more thing, especially since you said kids. On my Boy Scout Troops Facebook page, we don't tag any of the kids in the pictures. We don't put any names with any of them. So that, in my opinion, will help a little bit if you don't put the names. Here? Hey, can I ask a favor? Can you guys just introduce yourself real quick before you ask your question?
Oh, geez.
You're the first.
I'm the first.
I feel like I'm making friends here, but I don't know their names.
My name's John Gotti, and
Hi, John.
No. Anyway, one of on the taking photos and posting them. If you put a photo release on your contracts, which you can, says any photos blah, blah, can be used of our stuff at any events can be used. If you put that on any of your documentation, then you've covered yourself. If somebody calls up and complains, I would immediately take it down, obviously. But at least it covers you. You've got a legally signed document by them that states, "Hey, I agreed to it."
Awesome. There
okay,
you go.
So that's just an easy way.
Carol,
easy way to do it.
See what you started? So I'm not even answering questions anymore.
One other thing.
Good, he has one.
You stated earlier that you you're doing it for the dentist, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you had 50 people, like if a whole bunch of us got together and say, "Hey, we want you to do this stuff for us," will that get low marks for the client on Facebook that you're posting all? Could you take the same content?
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that.
No. That doesn't look organic, right? That doesn't look
that
like...
didn't seem like it would.
That'd be like me showing up at the social event and saying, here, I represent these 15 companies.
Okay.
Right? So I would say no. If you're going to outsource this, you need to find someone who wants to know about your business.
Okay.
They can speak in your voice. They know what's important to you. You know, they'll create a strategy. You'll be like, hey, look, do you want to do a unicorn thing? Morgan Miller, they did this unicorn thing. It was fantastic. Like, I hate unicorns, they're stupid. How do you feel about bacon? I'm a bacon guy, right? So I might be posting stuff about bacon later, and that might be my in, but that needs to be different for every business. Okay? I'm guessing over here.
What my company did, or what I do, because I manage the Facebook page,
What's your name?
Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. She's the ornery one.
And I'm an alcoholic. But instead of posting pictures of guests or the bride and groom or whoever's hosting the party, is we focused on our equipment in action, and highlighting that instead of the actual physical event.
Okay, that's cool. That's definitely a safer way to do it for sure. But I would argue that putting the people in there will get more engagement and more shares. So when you get that opportunity, do that. Got one for me? Nobody over here? Over here.
Yeah, I've got a question. My name's Angie.
Hi, Angie.
Hi. If you do reviews and you're going to say, oh, for the first so many reviews, you're going to get $2 or something like that back, how do you exchange that money? Do they come to the store, or how does that work?
What the dentist did was he said, please print out a copy of your review and just bring it in. But he didn't pay everyone for every review. He ran a contest. So it was for every 10 reviews, he pulled one of them and gave them a $25 gift card. So he was able to call them and say, hey, you won our contest. Would you like a gift card to Starbucks or Amazon or whatever? Then you just email it. It's nice and easy.
Yeah, my name is Jeff. I saw on there like the icon was like constant contact. Is that something you can link in through Facebook, join our mailing list?
Yeah, Constant Contact is an email newsletter kind of software. There's also another one called MailChimp, which is free. And they all have social buttons that can help you promote socially once you send the newsletter out. And you can have a place for people to sign up for your newsletter and things like that. I think we had one over here.
Yeah, my name is Amy. Question. In starting a blog, obviously status on Facebook, you should comment once a day, kind of a thing. Is there a standard on how many posts per month for a blog?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but that statistic I showed you earlier said that 92% of businesses that blog every day claim to have gotten business from their blog. Now, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask, in my opinion. My experience with rental companies is that it's really a matter of how aggressive you want to be, and kind of the minimum, in my opinion, is once a week. And that blog should not always be about your products and services. it should be stuff that's relevant to your audience. So tool guys, yeah, you can absolutely post about your equipment, but let's say it's deer season in your area, and you know a lot of the guys who come to your event or rent from you are hunters. So how about something cool about deer season and tie it back to equipment somehow? Maybe it's an article about building a deer stand, right? So what we're doing there, we're talking to our audience and tying it back to our product or service. You got a speech now?
No, not
Wrap-up
much
speech?
of one. Just to remind everybody to fill out their evaluation forms. The next seminar start at 10. If everybody give us a warm welcome, congratulations.
Thanks, man. Thank you.